When Jess, our events manager, she emailed me, this was around about the 17th of December, she's like, Joey, we've got London and we've got loads of things going on, but now that there's lockdown happening, restrictions have changed, there's less to do than what we had originally with Chad. Are you able to redo a lockdown version? And I was like, yeah, sure. Well, not lockdown at the time, that was tier 3. And then about 5 days later, I'd started planning. I had this whole idea about how to get round with a pot noodle and can your pot noodle survive, and it was a great idea. And then Boris comes out, he's like, really sorry, but Christmas is cancelled for you if you're in London. And we went into tier 4, which was really sad. I was in tier 3, I was quite happy over Christmas. But unfortunately, that didn't follow through, and then we get to January, and now we're actually in a national lockdown again. So this presentation has changed quite a bit since I was asked to do this on the 17th of December. However, what I have got is a load of things that we can, fingers crossed, do during lockdown, and what you can do to discover London whilst in these restrictions. So if you're a new student with the postgraduate courses, or whether you're just a BA student, you're still in London, in your accommodation or whatever, hopefully these are things that you can do. Now, if you do get a chance, do check out Chad's original presentation that he did, because he's got some great stuff in there involving the museums and places to go and see, and also about transport and how to get around. There's loads of options there and that he's covered, so do go and have a watch of that, because once we're out of that is a great thing to do. However, I'm not really going to be touching on that. I'm going to be touching on all the stuff that you can do and sort of discover during these tougher restrictions, and if they ever come back again, which they might, we don't know. Didn't know we were going to be on number 3 this time, did we? But hopefully we can have some fun whilst we're in these circumstances. Okay, so discover London lockdown. That's where we are at the moment. Now, there is one thing that we can do. Exercising, cycling and walking. It's all part of our allowances for the day. There isn't a 1 hour of the day this time, so therefore we can go pretty much everywhere. Now, the beauty about this is that with it being quite empty and less busy, it's lovely air, and you've also got some lovely scenery that you can go and discover. So I've come up with a couple of routes that you may want to take to go and see some of the natural beauties. It's not really natural, is it? It's all man-made. Well, I say that. There are some bits that are actually quite naturally beautiful. So, first of all, is cycling. Now, if you're wanting to go for a little bit of a cycle and you're based around Greenwich, where we are, then there's a great cycle route from Battersea to Greenwich. It's about 10 miles, so it takes about 45 minutes to an hour, depends on, if you're used to cycling, you'll easily be able to get that in 45 minutes. If you're a bit like me, it's like I've not been cycling since I was about 12 years old, then, it might take a bit of an hour or just over that. But what this route starts off is you start in Battersea over here, if you can see my mouse on the screen, and we go all across this lovely flat land, so it's nice and easy to do. But we will go all across the bank of the river and go all the way up to Greenwich, and we finish in Greenwich Park. Now, this is great because you get loads of local sites and loads of things to see, and you get the beauty of the River Thames all along it. So here's some of the things that you'll end up seeing. You'll see Battersea Power Station. Again, Battersea Power Station, it is very industrial looking, but it's a key landmark in London. And it's actually going for some redevelopments at the moment. So at the moment, there's a load of scaffolding over the sides of it. And hopefully that'll look even more beautiful when it's once it's all redone, basically. But yeah, Battersea Power Station, it's one of the key places of the Industrial Revolution. You've got the Big Ben, you've got the River Thames, you've got the Shakespeare Globe. So again, if you go back to that, you can search up Battersea to Greenwich cycle route. It's one of the first ones that comes up once you type that in. And you've got a couple of different variants, but if you go for the one around the South Bank, it's really nice because you pass the Shakespeare Globe Theatre, which has got a lot of heritage and culture by it. Now, you may not be able to go into these places, but you will certainly at least be able to see the outside. Again, you've got Tower Bridge, and you finish in Greenwich Park, which is absolutely lovely. Lovely green area. And a lovely place to go, because you can go there for looking at the observatory once that's open, but obviously at the moment no can do. But it's just a great green open space that's really close to Ravensbourne if you've got accommodation from there. So you can do this either way, from either Greenwich to Battersea or whichever way you want to do it, or do a whole loop. But one way it's about 45 minutes to an hour, and it's really, really nice. Now, if you wanted to do this, great, but you need a bike. Now, there's a couple of options. If you've got your own bike, great. Just do it at your own leisure. One thing I would say is make sure you do have a helmet. Make sure also that you have insurance. If you're ever putting your bike anywhere and you're locking it up, make sure you lock it with a chain. But having insurance on a bike can be great just in case anything untoward does happen. I've had a bike stolen before whilst here, so it's just making sure that you've got that extra safe. Have a look online. Ensley and other insurance companies do student bike insurance covers. It's really, really great for that. Now, another option is the Santander Cycles, or the Boris Bikes as they're more commonly known. So the Boris Bikes, or the Santander Cycles, you pay £2 and you get unlimited access for 24 hours to any of the bikes that Santander Cycles have, and they've got loads of little stations all across London. You can download the app as well, so you can prepay, and then once you get there, you unlock a bike, and then you go for it. Now, the thing with this is that if you use the bike for 24 hours, you can only use it for 30-minute rides, and that is £2. And then you put it back into one of the bike bays, and then you can get it out and do another 30-minute ride, and it won't cost you any more. But, for example, this route here that we've got is 45 minutes to an hour. Because of that, every additional 30 minutes you do costs you an extra £2. So there is a little bit of an extra cost there, and it does start adding up. But if, for example, you do 45 minutes one way, dock it, and then you do another 45 minutes, in total, that will only be costing you £6. But again, it's not the £2 that it does say. It is a little bit confusing at times, so apologies for that. But yeah, basically, you get access to that for around about £6 you can do there and back. If you start in Battersea, there's plenty of access available. But if you're heading to Greenwich, just be aware, in the southeast, there's not many, if any at all, actually, Santander cycle bays. Your closest is going to be on the Isle of Dogs, which is great because you can go through the foot tunnel and go over to the Isle of Dogs and pop it over there. So just so you're aware where you can dock them. So if you've got your own bike, even better. Great. Okay, let's carry on. So, walking. Now, if you're wanting to go for walking, there are lots of different places that you can go and see. One of my favourite places to go is the Tottenham Lock. There are, down this area, it's like not being sort of in London. If you just wanted to get away for a little bit, you approach and it's on a main road, and then you walk off in Tottenham Lock, and it's full of riverboats, full of this lovely canal, and you can see in the top right-hand corner there some of the photos when I was going down, and you get... If you're really interested in boats, stuff like that, there's plenty of people there who are actually operating it, and they're lovely to go and speak to. There's also a little cafe. Cafe's not open, but you're able to go down and have it's just a really scenic route, and if you're just wanting somewhere just to take a step back, just have a nice little wander, it's like you're not in London. If you imagine London as a very city urban environment, this is where you're not in London. You start in this area down here, and you just walk along, and you get these lovely green areas, and it's just really, really nice. Again, about 30 minutes to an hour, depending on how far up you go, but usually if you go up to the cafe and back, it usually takes an hour for a round trip. But again, really nice area to go and have a look at. Another one is the Weldhamstow Wetlands. It's around 2 hours to see it all because it's a huge place, but it is very picturesque. You've got lots of lovely wildlife, and again, completely free entry to go and see it all. As you can see here, there are different places to go and see, and you've got different animals there, so geese and stuff like that are across all of these. But yeah, if you start down here, down the lane entrance of Copper Mill, and you walk all up, that usually takes about 2 hours. And it is lovely. It's very picturesque. As you saw before, you get this lovely view that you can take some Instagram selfies for, your Instagram feed. If you go to these places, it's great. But even better, if you went in the snow, which I did yesterday. I added these yesterday, and it does look beautiful. It's a really, really nice area. Now, this is just up here in the High Marsh area, the Maryland. I can't read that. Maryhard Reservoir. I didn't know what it was called. So just up here, you've got a lovely little area which you can go and see. Like I said, there's lots of wildlife, and it is absolutely beautiful in the snow. just the off chance it was snowing. I was acting like a little child yesterday. I was like, oh my god, it's snow. I've not been in the snow since I was quite young, you see. So it was an experience, and lovely to be out there. And again, there I am by a bus. And as you can see, there were some geese as well. They were enjoying the snow, having a little peck at it. But it is an absolutely lovely environment, and you get some great shots for the Instagram or wherever you want. Particularly when it's lovely weather, when it's open. But I just thought I'd share some of the nice little Winter Wonderland-esque photos there from the snow yesterday. But as you can see, very picturesque, very lovely, and lots to go and see. Now, if you're wanting to do a walk or a cycle, or wanting to switch between the two, there is another thing that's called the Capital Ring. Now, I'd never heard about this before, but the Capital Ring is made up of loads of different beautiful locations that go around the capital. That is 78 miles. Now, I should point out, it's not advised you do it in a day. Take your time with this, but you cover all of these different locations, from Eltham Palace to the Olympic Park, Finsbury Park. Now, the Olympic Park, I've cycled through there on my way to Ravensbourne when I cycled for a little bit ago, and it's so nice. It's such a lovely sort of modern open area, if that makes sense. It's not just full of greenery, but if you want something like that, Finsbury Park or one of the traditional parks, you've also got as well. And it goes across all these places in a whole loop. Again, 78 miles, and the idea is that you'll sort of do this over a few days. And it just gives you some of the best parts of London to have a look. Again, get the photos out, put them on Instagram. It's great for picturesque looking. And what you've got there is just a really great sort of challenge to set yourself, because walking that 78 miles is an accomplishment in itself. So much so that actually Transport for London give you a certificate. So you can print this off yourself and pop your name on it. So even if you've not done it, pop your name on it. No one's going to know. No, but if you do, it is absolutely fabulous. Do take a look at the TfL website, Transport for London, because they've got actually a range of different walks that you can do. Now, you can do it either cycling or walking, but they've also got the London Loop. That's a bigger one, and that actually goes round more of Greater London. It's a huge one. The smallest one, I believe, is the Jubilee Walkway, and that, again, it goes round mainly round the where Buckingham Palace is, and around the Thames round there. So it is there are different variations of walk that you can go on, and you get a certificate for all of them if you want. But yeah, do take a look. It is absolutely a great accomplishment to do any of them. If you want to start off small and go up big, but it's a great way of exploring London whilst in the restrictions that we can, because at the moment there's no sort of touristy tours or anything like that. But this, you can just do it yourself and get a certificate whilst you're doing it. So if you want them certificates, great, go for it. Put it on your LinkedIn. I'm sure employers love it. Shows motivation. Anyway, moving on. Oh, waking up early. I'm still on thing. So this was just this morning, and I saw this. I was up early this morning. I was like, got to prepare for this talk. And you get this lovely sort of sunset this morning. Sunset, sunrise. And sometimes it's just nice just to get up about 6 a.m, 7 a.m, whenever sunrise is going to occur, and just take a sit back, have a cup of tea, and just breathe in the world. And I think that's one of the best parts, is seeing the skyline that London offers, because it's like no other, the skyline that you get. Now, if you're closer to Greenwich, particularly if you're in Scape accommodation, you'll get a much closer and much more aesthetically pleasing sort of skyline of Canary Wharf, and everything there, particularly at night, is absolutely lovely. I stayed at Scape myself, and you've got the balconies, very, very nice. Now, this is just from my accommodation, a bit further out in Weldhamstow. And again, it is such a lovely sight to see, just the skyline, just the whole of London. We're a bit further away, but wherever you are, take your time, go to special locations that you can see from a high above place. Greenwich Park, for example, if you can get up the hills and everything, you get a lovely little view. And something just either sunrise or sunset is just lovely to be around. So if you're just feeling a bit down, it's a great way just to boost yourself up with a little bit of a natural morale. So yeah, that's it. That's it for exercise. But now we're going to talk about takeaways. Now, you may be thinking, takeaways? How on earth is that discovering London? Well, actually, you can discover London through taste. There's many restaurants now that are actually doing takeaway kits, or just actually takeaway, that they're making some of their meals and they're sending it for takeaway that they've never done before. And this is now your opportunity to try that out. So there's lots of different historic places in London. I'm only going to cover a couple of them of particular note. And the first one is not really necessarily a London exclusive one, but I'll tell you why I'm covering it. If you're like me and wasn't city bound or anywhere near a city really, if you were, I grew up in the countryside. I was from just outside of Blackpool in a place called Nottingham-Breezel. Lived on a farm for most of my for a bit of my young life. I'd never come across this place, but it does some of the best burgers I've ever had, and that's Five Guys. Now, Five Guys is apparently a chain where there's loads of them, and if you live in a place like Manchester, if you live in an urban city environment already, you've probably already come across this. But for me, you know, everyone's come across a McDonald's, everyone's come across a KFC, but actually, they're just really, really good burgers. They only opened up a few years back, I think it was 2012, in the UK, with their first store in London. And now you can get it for takeaway. And I do recommend it. It is just a really nice burger. If you're just wanting something that is a nice sort of burger and fries, burger and soda, go for it. Just be aware you do have to pay for it all separately. I've noticed that in London is that it's not sort of like you pay £5, you get your burgers and fries and your drink. It is £5 for the burger, £3 for the fries, £2 for the drinks. Now, some of you may be looking at me and thinking, why is that a place to go? Of course, I've always had Five Guys, but if you're like me and you've never heard of it, do give it a go, because I really do think the taste of the burgers is lovely, and it's won awards for what it has done. It was originally from America in the States. So do give it a go. I completely recommend. Now, for everyone else is like, fam, what you on about? Of course we know about Five Guys. Okay, well, this next one is for you. It's called 1251. It's by Chef James Cochran. I think that's how you pronounce it, Cochran? Something like that. Again, it is mainly a burger place. Now, they only open on Thursdays and Fridays for takeaway. And the rest of the week they do their takeaway kits, and you can sort of cook along with them. So they're doing a Valentine's special at the moment. Again, they've got some really interesting individual drinks and sodas that they do. So over there's lemony lemonade from Karma Drinks, and it is very, very gourmet. It's very, very gourmet-esque. It's a little bit on the pricier side. So that buttermilk chicken, completely fresh, completely locally sourced, that's £12 on its own, which makes me go, yeah. Depending on sort of what you're looking for, it can seem a little bit expensive. However, it is very, very good food. And again, this is a place that never opened up before. And after having it, I thought it was worth it. So do give that a go. Another place that has had 106 years, I want to say. 1914. If anyone, no, 107 years since it opened. It's called the Golden Hind, and it does fish and chips, basically. It's named after one of the merchant navy boats from early England. Again, first time they've gone online for takeaway. Rated as one of the best fish and chips places in London. Really, really good to take a look at this place. I think it's Deliveroo they're on, but again, search it up online. And you'll see they've been doing fish and chips for over 107 years. 7 years. There we are. I can do maths. So do take a look at it. It is really good. And it's a great way just to see, you know, proper London fish and chips. If this is for your first time in the UK, fish and chips, obviously a staple meal of UK. So where better to try it than here? So again, you can get fish and chips from everywhere. But this is a really good place to sort of try that. Again, the Golden Hind. They do that. They do more upmarket sort of dishes like salmon and stuff like that, or fish based. Same with 1251. I put the buttermilk chicken because that's why I had. But again, they do other dishes as well. So do definitely take a look, because it is lovely. And again, all of these places are London based, London bound, and it just gives you that little bit of a taste into what London sort of tastes like, until you can get into the restaurants and properly get into the atmosphere and sort of seeing what that's like. Because no matter how much food you take away and stuff like that, it never beats the sort of atmosphere of being in a restaurant, or being discovering a brand new place just in the outskirts of London. Once you just walk in Soho somewhere, you just see somewhere, it just attracts your eye. And I really do encourage that. Do go and have a look around London, because you'll discover so much more by going and just having a bit of a wander and having a look around. Once everything's back open, or restrictions have lifted a little bit, it'll be really, really nice. Oh yes, London cheaper eats. Yeah, so the things I've mentioned have been a little bit upmarket. If you're thinking £5 for a burger, £3 for the fries, £2 for the drink, that sounds quite like a lot of money for Five Guys, and everything else. That was a little bit upmarket. It was just showing you some of the places. But there is a great page called London Cheap Eats. London Cheap Eats, they focus on meals that are available in London for under £8. Now, they do a great Instagram page, so I do recommend you go and follow. They've not posted since August. Again, it's due, I'm assuming due to the restrictions. There was a new lockdown that came into play and everything. But everywhere that you see on there, most places have started online. The only ones that I think that haven't are some street vendors on there. They've got a website as well, londoncheapeats.com, and it just gives you a huge range of different meals and plates. And if you're really fancying something, you can just type in, find the picture. Or if you're wanting to discover something brand new, there's a gallery on Instagram and on the website of all these different plates that they offer from all these different places, and you can go to that website or to their delivery or Uber Eats page or whatever, and you can order directly from them, or should be able to. Again, some street vendors and stuff like that aren't offering that service, but some are. So do have a look. It's a great little page that you can go and have a look through. Whilst we're on Instagram pages, if you want to give mine a follow, hello, it's Joey. Instagram, nearly 1,000 followers, so if you want to go subscribe to that as well, it'd be great. Anyway, moving on. Theatre. Now, theatres aren't open. Theatre and the entertainment industry has been suffering massively throughout this pandemic, through lots of different reasons, but mainly because you can't have people in the theatre. When theatres were allowed to open again, it was up to 50% capacity, that was it. And so people really struggled, and I think everyone remembers the Monumentus. You know, there was a few shows like Six and Les Mis. They opened on West End for, I think it was 6 nights, and then that was it. They thought they were going to have an extended period, but they opened for 6 nights, and then they were shut down again, which was really, really sad. However, some have adapted, and some have moved online. So I just want to go through a couple of them. Again, it's not like going to the theatre, and I really, 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 really recommend you go and discover some of the most amazing shows. Obviously, if it's on at the West End, that you've got some of the best shows in the best places, the best productions. Lion King's great, Dear Evan Hansen, but also take a look at the off West End stuff like at the Other Palace, where you had Be More Chill that had just come from Broadway, but they've got loads of different up and coming shows and up and coming producers and performers performing there. There's just so much entertainment to be absorbed and seen within London, and it's the right place because it's the heart of it. One of my favourite groups is called Mischief Theatre. They are hilarious. If you've never heard of them, their most famous show is The Play That Goes Wrong. Now, you can't see The Play That Goes Wrong online. I'll probably find a bootleg copy, but I don't do that. But they're the most famous for The Play That Goes Wrong. I saw that when it was on its national tour. Absolutely hilarious. Had me in stitches. If you've ever seen, there's even on ITV, there was a short snippet from the Royal Variety performance of them doing something from that, and it will have you in tears. If you do ever get the opportunity once it comes back up, do go and have a look. However, for right now, whilst we're in lockdown, a great place to start is BBC iPlayer. They've got the Goes Wrong show based off the show that goes wrong. And it's a great place. If you've never seen The Play That Goes Wrong, you'll be in stitches over this. Even if you have seen it and you've not seen this, do watch it, because again, it's still really, really funny. But I do think you kind of preempt the gags a little bit once you've seen the first version. But they're coming out with a second season as well. But the whole of the first season, the first episode of the second season, is on BBC iPlayer right now. So go give that a watch. It's absolutely great. However, if you're like, okay, but that's not really theatre, is it? Well, I've got something right up your alley, because Mischief Theatre are actually doing Mischief Movie Night In. And what they're doing is a Zoom play. So this Mischief Movie Night In was meant to be opening in December all the way through January. However, they couldn't do it because of, well, the pandemic and the restrictions that we've just talked about. But what they have done is they've moved it over to Zoom, and it's an improvisation play where the main cast and the cohort all perform together over Zoom, and it is meant to be absolutely hilarious. There's a little bit of a trailer which will have you in stitches. And they're doing it, and it's only £10. It's £10. That's cheaper than most West End places as well. So £10 just to view it online, and whoa, that's pixelated. That wasn't as pixelated when I originally put it there. So if you can't read them dates, we've got. So today's Monday the 25th. So Wednesday the 27th, Thursday the 28th, Friday the 29th. Saturday 30th, 31st of Jan, and again on Sunday the 14th on Valentine's Day. So there's plenty of opportunities to go see it, all at different times, 7:30, 6:30 on some nights, 11:30, not 6:30, that's Eastern Standard Time. It's 11:30, it's a late night matinee, that one. But yeah, do go and check it out. It's a completely improvised show, so if you love it once, try it again, because you might get something completely different. Again, they offer BSL and captioned performance as well, but it's a really great opportunity to kind of see what that troupe's like before you go and see one of their bigger shows. So like I said, they do The Show That Goes Wrong. They also do the comedy about bank robbery, grown-ups. There's loads of different shows that Mischief Theatre do, and they honestly have everyone in stitches. They are such a great troupe. So I totally recommend you go see that. But if you're thinking, cool, but comedy's not really my style, I really like Shakespeare, I really like some of the classical vibes, well, I've got something for you too. We've got Romeo and Juliet. It's starring Sam Tutty as Romeo. Sam Tutty, for those of you who don't know, is Olivier Award winner for Dear Evan Hansen, when he played the Evan Hansen in Dear Evan Hansen. I can't say the word, Dear Evan Hansen. Sam Tutty played the role of Evan Hansen. And he won an Olivier for that. It was his West End debut, straight fresh out of Italia Conti. He'd only been out about 6 months, and he bagged the role, and he's absolutely stunning. Got a stunning voice, and he's a stunning actor. If you ever get a chance to have a look online, go on YouTube, listen to him sing Waving Through a Window. He'll have you in tears. You'll be found. Oh, it really hits the heart. But he's an absolutely fabulous actor. It's also got Derek Jacobi, a patron. He is a MBE or OBE? OBE or MBE. One of the most famous actors that we have here, on par and on level with other people. I'm trying to think. Judi Dench, that's who I was trying to think of. Judi Dench. I was nearly there. Judi Dench, yeah, so on par with that sort of level. Very, very big, very respected. He's also in this. Now, it's a film theatrical production. So it's been filmed using Zoom, but they've sort of manipulated it so the characters are in the same place and everything can be done. Now, the tickets here, they're a little bit more expensive. They're not the £10 from before. This is £15 or £20, depending if you're a single or if you're going in the group. And it's starting from the 13th of February for 1 week only. So do get your tickets, because it's due to be absolutely lovely. And if you've seen Sam Tutty in Dear Evan Hansen, then you know just how talented that guy is. So it's certainly one to go and see. So if you're looking for something a little bit more grounded than that is the show, I'd recommend to go and see. But if you're looking for comedy, Mischief Theatre are absolutely fab as well. Now, when we're free, now like I said, way back at the beginning, I said that I was contacted on the 17th of December. This was when I believe we're in tier 2 or tier 3. Can't remember the tiers anymore. And I put this on my Instagram. I was like, right, what would people want to see? So I popped this on, and I was like, best things to do and see in London. I put a bus, there's a TARDIS, Doctor Who Time Fracture, very expensive, that's coming out in April, depending on restrictions, which is a live immersive theatre experience. But I wanted to show what my friends sort of thought. And so I put that out there. Now, there was lots of responses, but I just wanted to take a snapshot of a few of the best ones, some of the things that you can go and take a look at once we're out. So the first one, and I think I mentioned this before, is the Sky Gardens. Now, the Sky Gardens is located in the centre of London. It's near London Bridge and the Thames. It's completely free to go into. You have to book a ticket, but you go up and you have this open garden space, and you get this beautiful skyline city view of London. On the weekends, it's open a little later. And in the weekdays, it's open till 6 p.m, I believe. But some of the restaurants that they've got in there, which you can go to, are open typically a little bit later. But yes, if you're just wanting to go into the garden, it's completely free to go into there. Just make sure you book your ticket in advance. Up to 3 weeks, I think you can do it for. And take a look at that London skyline, because it's absolutely beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. I've never been, and I do want to go. But just from the pictures you can see, and some of my friends have been, looks absolutely gorgeous. And if you're looking for London City Skyline, two places: this place or the Emirates Airline, which is just outside Ravensbourne. Actually, it's very nice for when it's particularly when it's golden sunset. But here is such a great place to go and see and visit because it gives you just that lovely atmosphere. So definitely check that out. Next one. Oh, I've pressed play again. I didn't mean to do that. There we are. The next one was Winter Wonderland. Now, obviously, I've never been there before. And someone posted this. They said, best thing to do in London, see Winter Wonderland, but don't think they open. Let's hope for 2021. It is huge. In Hyde Park it's based in. They've got pretty much everything there, and it looks absolutely great. As you can see there, there's Ferris wheels. There's ice skating rinks, obviously, and stuff like that. It is such a good place to go and see and experience that. So again, totally recommend to do that. Again, that's a Christmas thing, so November, December time. So it is seasonal, but once it is there, it is honestly looks like such a good thing to go and see. So if you do get the opportunity, do take a look at that. I certainly will be. Fingers crossed. It happens this December coming. Moving forward. Someone switched it back to me. I did the next thing. I was like, ask me a question because I was bored because it was lockdown. And someone flipped the question on me. It says, one of your favourite places in London. And so I was like, well, the light show. Now, they do this in Canary Wharf. Again, it's a free, open experience. And they've just got loads of different light performances and light not statues. How do you put it? Light exhibits. That's the one. That you can go and experience. Now there's one there which is very beautiful. It's raindrops and they all sort of fall and make different colours and do different so when you have the rain when it's like really heavy, it sort of does this shattering effect. Very good for Instagram photos, that one as well. Just make sure you have some light. The one that I'm posed in front of is it's sort of like this ice cube with all lights underneath. There's loads. They're from all over the globe and they come and do this light festival. And it's one of the most lovely and just so atmospheric light festivals I've ever been to. And I'm just outside of Blackpool. I'm part of the Illuminations, and I wish it was more like this because, this is just something that you just really are up front and experiencing. The Blackpool Illuminations aren't that bad if you're ever coming up to Blackpool. But yeah, no, they're just lovely. And so, if you do get a chance, again, absolutely free. A seasonal thing again. It's around about December to January, and you can just have a walk around Canary Wharf, and it's honestly just some of the best creative light work that there is from the globe in there. And what I say in these two pictures just don't give it justice. So do go take a look. There's this water fountain one which I thought was great, and they do just all sort of explodes to this music with the lights. It's again, I don't do it justice. Do go take a look at that. I highly recommend if you do get the chance. Finally. We've got New Year's Eve. Again, I posted this in December. Once we're allowed to go out and witness that. Although, did you see the drones? Blimey, them drones. That was amazing, that. Yeah, if you do get the opportunity to see, obviously, on the bank, South Bank, near the eye and everything, go and witness the fireworks. It's just one of the best places to be for New Year's, unless you're somewhere else like Australia and in Sydney or stuff like that. But in the UK, one of the best places to be is London, just on the on New Year's Eve. Just such a magical experience. We've also got Leek Street. I said you might need to get a plumber in for that. But that'll be cut out of the recording, I think. So with Leek Street, it is just one whole street, and it's sort of this underground tunnel with all this graffiti art, and it is very, very nice to go and take a look at. So if you do get the opportunity, my background has just changed. If you do get the opportunity, do go take a look at that. Nice little walk, nothing huge, and again, based in the centre of London. Really good to take a look at. Finally, I think this is finally, Camden Markets. I got confused with Covent Garden. It's not Covent Garden. My friend rang me, says, can we meet in Covent Garden? I said, yeah. It was my cousin, actually. And I went to Camden Market. I was walking around looking for her. I was ringing her. I'm like, where are you? It's like, very different place. But Camden Market, again, it's so alive. You've got loads of street food places. loads of markets to go and see. You got the Camden Lock. If you do get a chance to go see Camden Markets, definitely go and just experience the culture there, because it is absolutely great, and there's so many things to go and see. But yes, don't get it confused with Covent Garden. Very different. But yeah, basically, I think that's it. There we are. Discover London in Lockdown. Thank you so much for watching and listening. I hope this has sort of given you some sort of inspiration of things you can do, whether it is just, eating a takeaway and trying somewhere that is, proper London-based to give you that flavour, or whether it's going for a cycle or going for a walk, using them routes so you can actually really do some things in lockdown at the moment. And maybe these are things you might overlook, sort of thing. So maybe do give these a go whilst we're in these restrictions. Maybe that's one of the beauties of it. You might not have considered going to a Mischief Theatre show, because typically the tickets are a lot more. But now it's only a tenner, it's online. Give it a go. Have a look. But thank you so much for listening. Thank you so much for watching. I really hope that you enjoy London as much as I do when I go around it. And I hope I've given you something to look forward to during lockdown. Again, if you're watching this after lockdown, do check Chad's video. He'll go into your transport. He'll go into the museums. Loads of great options there as well. But if you're looking for something to do during lockdown, or maybe you want to do these stuff whilst lockdown's finished, and you just want to try that cycle route again, go for it. But yeah, that's all from me. I've been Joey. Let's go.